Hey everyone, welcome to video number 16 in the UE5 vehicle tutorial series. This is part 2 on the in-game music player. In this video we are going to fix the little error messages we got from part 1 and also create the UI for the player to see. So let's reopen our UMG here, UMG music player. The reason we're getting errors is because we are binding the event here on the audio finish. But the sound here is set to auto destroy by default, which means the audio component is going to destroy itself whenever it's done playing the song. So we need to untick that, and I'll take care of the errors and also make this section here work as intended. I also found out we don't actually need to set this every time we change the song. So I'll just move that here before the play, because we only need to set it once. So there you go. It's gonna work better. Now onto the designer. Let me hold on a second. I deleted the text here because I really don't want to leave that on the screen. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create icons, and instead of doing the right thing and creating them in GIMP, as textures, I'm going to use borders and text, because any UI designer will tell you that this is the wrong thing to do, so that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and add a canvas panel here to serve as a border for the icon. We're going to set its size to 75. Let's anchor it to the bottom left of the screen. Let's go ahead and give it a little offset of not 12, 10, and -10. Set the alignment on the y-axis to 1, as you can see here. That's going to be our button, or icon, sorry. Let us add a border to it to create a background. A border, anchor it to take the entire space. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot to click the border. Anchor it like this. Remove the offsets. Good. Brush color here. I like to go with black and 0.35, 0.45 on the opacity. And we're gonna get fancy here and show you a new trick. Let's go here into the brush, draw as rounded box. If you leave it as is, it's going to create kind of this rounded. I want to be able to control the radius. So here in the outline settings, go into rounding type and set fixed radius. Now you can use these 4 float variables here to set your radius. That's a bit small. Let's go with 20. Okay. Now for the actual icon, I will be using text. Drop that onto the canvas panel, not the border. The text, make sure the Z order is 1, so it is in front of the border. The text here, let's make it an equal sign for the pause. Size it to content. Scroll all the way down here into the render transform, set the angle to 90 degrees. Go back up. Set the anchor point to be in the center, alignment to be 0.5 and 0.5, position 0, 0, and let's make it bigger. Now that's too small. Okay. How about that for a pause icon? I'll make sure nothing is set to is variable except for the canvas. And give it a name like pause icon. Cool. Let's duplicate that for the play icon. Where are you? Now the play icon will go back into the text here. Use that little bracket that's pointing right. Go back down, set the angle back to 0. And I guess we can center that on the button a little better than that. That should be it. So those are our two buttons, or icons. Sorry, I keep mixing them up. So let's go with the pause icon here and set it to be hidden. So behavior, visibility, hidden. Because by default, when you spawn into the game, the music is playing. So you only need the play icon. Okay, now we need to change those out whenever you play or pause the music. So play icon. Little trick here, you can hold down the control key before you release it. That'll give you a getter. And if you hold down Alt instead, it'll give you a setter. So you don't have to always click stuff. So here's the play, here's the pause. So whenever here we pause, we want to hide the play button. So set visibility to hidden. Actually, let me copy and paste a bunch of times. Okay, so we're hiding the play icon, and we're unhiding the pause icon whenever we pause, and we do the exact opposite whenever we play again. Okay. There you go. Play pause working. Although the pause is a little off center as well. I don't like that. Oops. There. Hey, move. And now we need a little box here to display the name of the song that is currently playing. So we'll go ahead, duplicate one of them. Let's call it pop-up, because I'm going to animate it to be a pop-up bubble. The anchor point is correct. Let's move that a little bit to the right here. How about I go -10? Let's go ahead and set the text here to a placeholder, just to get an idea of the size of it. Song name, artist name, that is huge. that's better. Now we need the canvas to be sized to content. Awesome. Go to the text, 0, everything, so it's perfectly centered. Scroll down here to the margin. Add some margins to the left and right. I like that. Let's go ahead and select the border, make that back into a half-height radius, so it's perfectly rounded because it's just one line of text. Pop-up here is a variable for the animations. Text also need to be a variable so we can change it in the graph. Okay, let's go into the graph now. And the only place it would really make sense to set the text here is whenever we play, whether it's the first time we play or it's the next song. So go ahead and control drag the song name text here. Set text. We need some room here. Okay. Let's grab the song index. Again, control drag. Song array. Let's get the array element at the song index, and from that get the display name. Now, as you can see, whenever you import a file in the Unreal Engine, it's got spaces in the name, they get replaced with underscores. We're going to fix that right now. There's a node called replace that we can use for strings. And we're just going to revert that process by replacing the underscores with spaces. That's why we needed space. No pun intended. Okay, that's looking good. Let's jump into animations. If you're not interested in animations, you're done. You can stop watching the video now. The rest is just me playing around animating stuff to show you a little bit how that works. Okay, so let's go back into the designer tab here. We'll start with the pop-up. That's the first thing we're going to animate. So click on the pop-up here, that's the canvas panel. To the bottom left here you have an animation tab. And I've got animations in it already, because that's like the third time I'm recording this tutorial. So click on the plus animation here, give it a name, trying to be consistent with my naming, so pop-up underscore anim. Click on that, add a track with the first one, pop-up, add a track to that track, which is going to be the transform. Now those transform are relative to the transform it had when you started animating. And that's important because if you do an animation and then you decide to move this around, the animation is going to move around as well, so you're not kind of going back to the original position when playing the animation if you move something afterward. I'll demonstrate that in a second when I'm done here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set the length of the animation to be like 3/4 of a second, you know, something quick. Hit Control mouse wheel to zoom in. So translation Y would be, I think 85 works best. And then 3/4 of a second, set that back to 0 to set it back to its original position. You can hit the bottom arrow on your keyboard to play the animation. As you can see, that's pretty slow. Yeah, I guess. Cool. Okay. And then I don't want it to be displayed on the screen all the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another track here with the render opacity. So at the very beginning, render opacity is gonna be 1. I know it's already set to 1, but I'm gonna set it again so that it creates that little keyframe here. And then here, actually, how long do I want it to be 1? I guess 2 seconds would be long enough, right? So move here to roughly 2.5. Okay, set it back to 1 again, and at 3 seconds, we'll set it to 0. Just like that. And there you go. Here's your pop-up animation. Now let's play the animation here after we've set the text. So whenever you add an animation to the animation tab, you get here a new variable under the animation, which you can drag into the graph here, drag off of it, and hit play. Now you can set here the start time, the amount of times you want it to play, if you want it to loop, play mode forward, backward, ping pong, the speed, and the restore state. Now I'm gonna leave that unchecked, but actually I'll show you why. It's gonna be better than just me trying to explain it. Actually, it's not gonna change anything for that particular one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cheat a little bit just to show you why you don't want to do that. I'll go back here into the animation, pop up anim, render opacity. Here I will leave to 1. There. Set this back to 1. Now if you leave that unchecked as it is by default, it'll stay right there. You know, so it starts underneath the screen, it plays the animation, moves around to that position, and then the animation ends and it stays there. Now if we check that restore state, it is going, after playing the animation, to go back to the original state. Or not, for some reason. Okay, I guess you can check it or not, it doesn't matter, for some reason. Oh well. That's unexpected. And now, how about we animate the icons as well? Add new animation. That is the play icon I have selected, I believe. Select that newly created, add a track, and how about transform, stretch that to be half a second. I think I'm gonna play with the scale on that one. That looks about right, I think. I'll do the same for the pause button. Pause icon, sorry. And I think now, because of the animations, we don't have to set visibility of anything. Because I'm going to use the same animation to fade in and out. So let's just disconnect that, set it aside, save it for later in case we need it. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to play fade in, pause fade in. If playing is true and we pause, we're going to play animation here for the pause button, and we're going to reverse animation for the play button. So play animation reverse. Let's go ahead and try that. Oh, that's right. Pause button is hidden. And we only have to do that once. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite for the play button. And for some reason I think I should probably play that pop-up again whenever we start playing the song again. Because you can skip songs while pausing. Yeah, I think that does it. It's not pretty or anything, but hey, it's better than print string, right? So that'll be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Check out the video description for the link to the Discord server. If you have any questions, also consider subscribing to my Patreon page, because that helps me a lot. And I will see you in the next video.